Okay, that's the roll call show that Ms. Estes is. That Ms. Estes is not here tonight, she's ill, and the rest of the board is here. Okay, so we're gonna go to consent agenda, number 1, AP warrants, number 11, dated 10/28/2025, number 12, dated 10/28/2025. We can do all these at once, right? Payroll registers, number 44, dated 10/30/2025, and number 45, dated 11/6/2025. I need a motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve the warrants and registers as written.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? So moved. Okay, number 3, application for liquor license for on-premises beer, wine, and spirits at the Harville Bishop Post 7865 VFW. Motion to approve.
Make a motion to approve the liquor license for on-premises beer, wine, and spirits at Harville Bishop Post, 7865 VFW.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? So moved. Number 4, application for games of chance license for Harville Bishop Arnold Trail VFW Post 7865. Any motions?
Make a motion to approve the application for games of chance license for Harville Bishop Arnold Trail VFW Post 7865.
Second.
All in favor? So moved. Acceptance of the minutes of select board meeting on October 27th, 2025, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? So moved. Okay, old business. Enhanced live audio at select board meetings, options and costs.
I had a chance to meet with John Harlow to kind of refresh my memory as to what we had talked about previously. If you want to, here's the 2 things that need your signatures that you just approved. And he has found a wireless with receiver and transmitter that there would be a wireless microphone at each station of the select board and the planning board, and at the department head table and at the town manager station. And that would be, I think there's 8 microphones with that. And it could plug into not only the video recorder, but it could also plug into speakers that would be pointing towards the back of the room, so that it would enhance the audio quality for the people that are in the audience, and it would enhance the audio quality for the recording as well. And what we found on that one was approximately $800, and that could come out of the public relations approved line from the TIP budget. There was $2,500 in the budget line for public relations. So I can pursue that further and get more detailed information if you want to see, or get maybe a demo, if we can find somebody that can come and bring a demo to that.
What do you guys think?
I like that idea.
Does it come with the speakers?
No, the speakers would be separate.
So separate.
The external speakers would be a separate cost. And I would imagine that they're not going to be more than a couple $100 a piece.
So, do you want to go ahead and get that information for us?
I can.
You don't need to vote for it tonight, all right? No.
So we're looking at about $1,000 to $1,200. So if that's good with you guys, then I will, I'm not going to buy anything until I have all of the specifics in order to be able to present to you, but I will try to get a demo or a sample of the product.
I think it's a good idea, only because we've had folks in the bigger building that we have our meetings in town can't hear from the back of the room, and so we've decided we need to do something like that so that people can hear. That's why we're doing it. Number 2, Somerset County Commissioner vacancy. Janet White, written, and Paul Frederick in person, and Don Skilling's verbal. So can we go ahead and enlighten the group?
So the Somerset County Commissioners have a vacancy. Sip Johnson was the District 2 Commissioner, and he moved out of Madison, so he's no longer eligible to be the County Commissioner for District 2. He is, he's resigned. His vacancy needs to be filled. The vote is 1 vote per municipality, so it's not all 5 members of the select board that will cast a ballot each. It's Madison will have 1 vote, and the other municipalities within District 2 will each have 1 vote apiece. Janet White gave you something in writing, I believe. I put it in your folders to kind of introduce herself and tell you why she's interested. Mr. Frederick called me and asked if he could speak in person here tonight.
You have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much. I have a one-page sheet. It's a copy of the letter that I sent to the county administrator, Tim Curtis, and I'll make sure that each of you has a copy. It's a reflection of my thoughts, a little bit about my background, and why I think I might be
Thank you.
contributing to the well-being of Somerset County. I don't know if you need a second one or not.
Thank you.
A person that's had some experience in government, which I think is important for a position like the one that's vacant, selectman in Starks for 17 years. Much of that time I was on the Somerset County Budget Committee. And at one point in my life, I was executive director of the Maine Land Use Regulation Commission, which is the state agency that oversees the unorganized townships in the state. And Somerset County is made up with maybe 2/3 or 3/4 of the county unorganized townships. So I'm familiar with some of the problems in that part of the county. This district does include some of those unorganized townships, as you may know. I have some experience in land use matters. I taught land use and geography at the University of Maine in Farmington for 27 years. I have degrees in geography from UMaine, Farmington, Southern Illinois University, and a PhD from the University of Illinois. I continue to be involved with the family farm in Starks, which has been in the family since 1795. And my grandson and I are currently using that property for beef operations. So I'm still babysitting cattle here as I go through this stage of life. This is a position that I ran for and campaigned for against Sip Johnson. He had more votes than I did some years ago, and he has held the job until his recent resignation. So I've been out and beat the bushes in the past, and I wanted to visit with each select board in the district. So here I am making my rounds this evening. I just came from Mercer, talking to the selectmen over there. So it's not a good night for a long drive in the countryside. I have some notion of how budgets work at the municipal level, and I guess at the state agency level. It's a tough job to hold the tax line, so to speak. We all feel the pinch of higher prices. The demand for services doesn't slacken, and the county government is subject to abuse from people that don't want to pay their taxes, I guess. But more importantly, I think we need to remember that the county is expected to deliver some of our more critical services, particularly law enforcement. We operate a jail. We are responsible for many other kind of mundane activities, but important, such as the registry of deeds. And most of these things I've mentioned are things that citizens in general don't follow too much. They follow it when the county budget comes up at town meeting as a piece of the town tax dollar. And we need to remember that the tax dollars that the citizen pays to you as a municipality, only about 50% of that dollar stays in the municipality. The rest of it goes for schools and county government. And I think there's a real gap between what citizens know about counties and what they should know. They don't have much direct contact with counties, as I said. I suspect if you ask the average citizen who their county commissioner might be, they wouldn't have any idea. And on the other hand, the county does play that very important role. And I think I understand that, having been on the county budget committee for a number of years. I don't know that I ever called the sheriff, but, well, I did call him once. And he came to a public hearing in Starks, and was very helpful. So that's the only time I actually requested presence from the county sheriff's office, although I've known Dale Lancaster for a long time. And I wanted to stop by and give you a reflection of my thinking and ask if there were any questions either from the board or from the audience. I didn't have any questions in Mercer tonight, but I had some in Smithfield last week.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Frederick? I guess
No
not.
questions, huh? And we're all very quiet, bashful or something.
You're pretty well known.
Well, I try to keep my head above water. Need to become a target sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much for your time, and
Thank you.
hope somebody will be over at the caucus to support my candidacy in the courthouse on the 19th.
19th, it is, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paul.
Good.
Okay, so, number 3, Preble, excuse me, I can't talk. Preble Avenue ball field. Citizen reported someone hunting in the wooded area around and between ball fields and walking trails. Reconsider posting the recreation area.
Yes. I can't remember the man's name, I had it written down at the office, but Mike Lambert, thank you. That's what it was. Came in and showed me this picture. He owns the property between the Ash Street dump, brush dump, and that's this, he's got this property over here. And there's all these recreation fields and the walking trails and everything inside. And somebody apparently was hunting in the wooded area and shot a deer, and it tracked over to his property, and he was notified by the game wardens that, that they were looking for the deer on his property. So while I understand that the area at the Ash Street brush dump is a popular hunting area, I think it's very unwise to not post the recreational area and the wooded area inside the ball fields on Preble Avenue.
No question about it, I think.
It should be a common sense thing, but
Well,
Somebody's going to use it.
okay. Any comments or questions, guys, with regard to this? Anybody?
I personally think it's a good idea to post it, but where that deer got shot, we don't know where it got shot, if it got shot on our property or not, right, so.
the wardens, yes, we do know. The people that reached out to the wardens said that they had permission from the town to hunt on that property, and it was on the ball field area property. Whether it was on one of the ball fields itself or on, in the wooded area, they didn't specify. But it was shot on town property.
So can we post it?
Sure, of course we could if we agree.
Yeah,
on it.
yeah, we should, yeah. We need to vote for that.
I'll make a motion to, oh,
I'm sorry.
I was told there's one person who was down there actually watching the ball field and hunting. And there's people that go down there every day taking their dogs down, or whatever the case may
Right,
be.
right.
I think it's a very dangerous thing. It's too bad you got somebody abusing it. Because there's people that probably would go in by the old dump and hunt down in there. To me, that's way too close to comfort.
Way too close.
Firearms aren't covered under the safe zone determination.
No, because it was, I think, just drugs.
so if we are gonna post it, we're gonna post all that property around that dump, or we're just gonna do it close to the ball field?
Just the recreational field is what I would recommend.
I'll make a motion to post the recreational fields for no hunting.
Second.
Any further discussion, Jessica? Seeing none, all in favor?
I
Thank
will
you.
make it happen.
Thank you. Okay, items of communication, department head report for October. We have a code enforcement report, we have a fire report, we have a highway report. Did you want to make any comments about your?
Yeah,
report
I'd
tonight?
just like to point out a few things. The winter sand pile has been all finished and cleaned up. The dirt road's been all graded for winter. We've been doing some work up in the Forest Hill Cemetery that we'll be discussing in a few minutes. All the docks have been removed and benches picked up off of Main Street. Next fall, I would like to put a set date to remove the docks in the river and the lakes. And I'd like to have dates that would go out with the tax bills, let's say like use November 1st, for example, so that there's no confusion of when they come out and why they come out. The new brush site up to the town garage has been working very well. We went from filling up that whole area in the Ash Street dump in a couple months and spending 2 weeks hauling it off. We've hauled 5 loads, small loads, away from the garage in the last 6 weeks. So the abuse has stopped, people are mindful of what they're hauling up there. The Route 148 project has been completed from the light in Madison to Clouds Corner. They do have to come back in the spring to do some more repairs, so if you see some more grinding at an intersection or two or on a main line, that's what's taking place. It got too late in the fall to, continue that project.
Well, it's nice to have it done, though.
It is.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
That's
Is
it.
that it? Thank you. Yes.
I'd just like to thank Cheyenne for getting a grant for us for that backdoor project. Our steps was like a $5,000 project. We got a $3,000 grant. They started today, so thank you for doing that.
That's great. Do you have anything else, Tom?
You haven't got time.
Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So we have library, and you want to talk about the gift for the library? Yeah?
Yeah, so, Julie Forbes notified us that, she got a call from the Carnegie Foundation. Madison's library is on the historic register, it's one of the Carnegie libraries. And any of the Carnegie libraries that are still in existence and operational received a gift, or will receive a gift of $10,000. So, and there's no restrictions, they can use it for whatever they want, however they want, and her proposal that she's taking to her library trustees is to get the front door restored and get the panes of glass, they're aged glass, right? I mean, they're time period,
Oh, right.
they're the little blocks of glass that are in the door. So she's gonna try to get those refurbished or replaced with similar glass. And the whole project, she thinks, is gonna take about $10,000, so she was very, very excited to get this money.
Yeah, it was in the newspaper too. So, good. We don't have a recreation report today,
Do not,
and we do have a sheriff's report.
yes.
And so, any comments, questions about the reports? Number 2, living well report. Diane, do you have anything?
Nothing really new this week.
Number 3, town manager's report on expenses, revenues, and GA through October for the year 26, currently at 32%. Week 19, 36.5.
Yep, we're a little below the expected budget, and I think that's because some of the expenses have gone through the approved TIF budget. And then on the general assistance, we did get, at the end of October, we got July and August reimbursements. So we're on track for that. September was already submitted, and October has been submitted also.
Moving on to number 4, thank you letter from Spectrum's Generation.
So they sent a letter there on our community list of donations that we put in the budget every year. Thank you for your generous donation of $5,000. Your financial support is already helping Spectrum Generations further our mission to bring nutrition, social engagement, wellness, and independence to maturing and disabled adults living throughout Central and Mid-Coast Maine. Please know that your gift matters and will be used for programs and services that help thousands of people each year. Thank you so much to our friends in Madison. We appreciate this continued and most generous gift supporting programs and services.
You have
Spectrum Generations has nothing to do with Spectrum Communications.
That's true. Good point.
Can I ask a question? Aren't they a for-profit corporation?
Spectrum Generations?
Yes.
I don't know that.
I'm just wondering why the town would be making a donation to a
No,
corporation.
I don't think they are. They're a .org, not a .org.
Okay.
No, it says no goods or services are provided in exchange. Central Maine Area Agency on Aging, which is doing business as Spectrum Generations, is a 501c3 nonprofit organization.
They've been around for quite a while. Number 5, town clerk report on recent referendum election.
Okay, so we had a really good election for a referendum. We had a high voter turnout. We had 1,202 voters. Of those, a little over 200 was absentee voters, meaning we had about 1,000 people come in on election day. Everything went fairly smoothly, and as always, the election staff was really good to work with. So, until the next one.
That's right.
I do have a couple other things, if Cheyenne's done, sorry, under communication.
Okay.
So I've had a couple of opportunities to go out into the public setting and meet with groups. One group was the Girl Scouts. They had a meeting a couple weeks ago or a week ago, and they wanted to know what was town government all about and what did I do as town manager and whatnot. They asked some really good questions. They were very engaged, and I think one of the things that we need to do as a community is to really reach out and engage the younger generation so that we get some people that are interested in building a future here in town, in Madison or East Madison, but also be interested in serving the public and working for the town, however that may be. The other opportunity was last week Cheyenne and I went to Main Street Middle School and had a mock election with the 3rd graders as to whether or not they thought that Swedish fish should be considered the favorite school snack. And the other one was whether pizza should be considered the favorite school lunch. So, and there was some interesting results from that mock election. The Swedish fish was defeated, hands down. The pizza for lunch was split right down the middle, 18 and 18, so. But it was a good opportunity to get out there and share with the kids, you know, what do we do as a town and what are we doing to serve them and their parents and the community, so. There was also a communication webinar that Cheyenne and I think John Martins participated in, called Communication Essentials for the Non-Communication Professional, and it was extremely well done, so much information. I'm happy to share that with you.
Was that MMA?
It was not MMA, it was, do you remember who did it?
I think there was a branch off of that MMA.
It could have been, yeah, okay. Yes, you're right. It was MMA and they had, but it was an outside guy that did it, yeah.
Yeah, John Guilfoyle.
Yep, and he is a communication expert, and he just kind of walked through a lot of the different things that we as leaders, local leaders, have responsibility for, but don't necessarily have the training and the experience in. And I don't know if he was trying to promote his business and say, hey, you need to hire us for your public relations or whatever, but he gave us a lot of good pointers, and it was a very, very well worth the 2 hours.
Did you think it was done? You liked
It
it?
was very good, yes, very informative, very useful, good tools.
And then the last thing I had was just a invitation to participate with a local roundtable at SAPI. They are putting together some information from the sources that they have to talk about, you know, how can they work with the Nature Conservancy who bought the dams, especially the Shawmut Dam, that provides the water source for the Sappy Mill. So they've got some legislators involved, town managers involved, they've got their local union representatives involved, and several other people, you know, the Grow Smart, Maine people, the Maine Chamber of Commerce people. So there's business development people, there's government people, and union representatives. And so they're trying to come up with, I don't know if it's like a task force or just kind of like a round table, but trying to develop ideas and work with, Nature Conservancy has said that they want to work with SAPI and that they're not going to take out the dam if they can't find a solution to provide water to SAPI. So SAPI management, you know, wants to stay focused on that positive aspect.
Let's get started on it.
It's going to be a while, yeah. So
Anything else?
that's all I had.
I had, that was 6 and 7. I had staff training opportunities through MMA Workforce Education Fund.
Yes, thank you for the reminder. So MMA provides continuing education services, and they will fund those services. State-supported workforce development grant administered by Maine Municipal Association. And I've sent it all to all of the employees in the town. I sent it to Jeff and asked him to share it with his highway employees. And I've not heard back from anybody, including anybody in my office yet either, so I can...
Are those Zoom training sessions, or are you physically there? Or?
There's one for each of you, I think. They are, let's see. MMA recently received a state-supported grant to expand access to professional development and continuing education for municipal employees across Maine. The program, called the Municipal Workforce Education Fund, offers reimbursement or direct payment for courses, certification, and training that strengthen local government operations. And then you have the summary sheet of what they have in terms of programming funding source, eligibility, what the covered expenses are, and the funding amount. It's up to $1,000 per employee per fiscal year. So that's considerable. You know, if they wanted to take classes at Thomas or MMA, University of Maine at Augusta, or, you know, anything like that, that would be very, very useful.
Like, I'm sure, yeah.
Yep.
Under G, new business, Forest Hill Cemetery, fine line paving, donation of paving labor and material. Who's going to cover that?
Let's see, I have, did you guys get pictures in your?
Yes.
Okay. So, Jeff sent me this picture. Fine line, Jeff, do you mind talking about this?
You all set with that, Sean? Yeah. Jim Peters of Fine Line Paving, has been doing some work up there this past summer. And he had asked if he could donate some of his materials and time and crew to fix 400 feet of the last gravel road up there, because he has some family members that are buried in the general vicinity, and he wanted it to look nice. And this was completely a donation. Sean and I had talked back and forth. He was all good with it. I'm assuming the committee was also. He just wanted to do his part in the community. So they went up a month or so ago and graded it and paved it, and the highway went up and backed up the edges with some loam and some gravel. In the future, you know, as time goes on, when he does have some mix left over at the end of the day, if it's warm enough and he can do a good job, he would also like to donate some more time on some of those roads up there that, you know, need to be just overlaid with minimal work.
Yeah, definitely, that's really good.
So it would, you know, probably a letter from the town would, you know, be advisable to, you know, thank him.
I will draft that.
It was a considerable amount of money,
Yeah.
but that's what he wanted to do, so.
Yeah, and I will have that letter drafted and run it by you, Sally, before we send that out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome, because
Yeah.
Jeff's right, there is some more work that needs to be done. Cemetery committee did some work this year, and with what he did, it's in a lot better shape.
Yeah. Thank you.
Welcome.
Citizen concerns, Mr. Rosato of Old Point Avenue has this list of concerns. Should I read them?
You
Or-
can,
Yeah. That he lives on Old Point, right?
yeah, on the corner of Old Point and Edwards.
Okay, and he has a list of concerns. Crosswalk sign at intersection of Edward Street and Old Point Avenue needs to be adjusted, fallen over with a question mark. B, crosswalk paint is fading. C, significant crack in pavement going across Old Point Avenue. D, trucks and trailers, all types of vehicles speeding on Old Point Avenue. Trucks and trailers using engine brakes at all hours of the day and night, loud. No truck entry signs on Edward Street facing Old Point Avenue entrance. And fencing at Dog Park, Preble Avenue area. Those are the list of concerns.
I forwarded the list to Jeff in case he had any ability or availability to look into the ones that were road related. Did you have a chance to review that?
I did, I took some pictures and they're being passed around. The crosswalk sign at the intersection of Edwards and Old Point, they're in that picture, they're as straight as you could get them. I don't understand what he's talking about. There's nothing wrong with those signs and that the way, you know, that they appear. The crosswalk paint is fading, it's no different than any of the other crosswalks in town. And that is, by the way, that was taken out of there years ago because that is an illegal crosswalk, okay? And he wanted it put back in and had gotten put back in the last 2 years. So under the state statute, section 4, 256, all crosswalks should extend from one safe landing zone to another. A safe landing zone is an area where a pedestrian is safe from a vehicle conflict while waiting to cross or when completing the crossing. Islands, walkways, and sidewalks are typically considered safe landing zones, while road shoulders, driveways, under normal circumstances, and parking areas are not considered to be best places for landing zone. So as in that picture, you can see that crosswalk dumps onto the shoulder onto Edward Street.
Yeah.
So that just leaves the town at a huge liability if someone should get hit there. That's why it was taken out years ago. It was there when the school was there, only because there was a flashing yellow light, which they didn't have to require that because it's not more than 35 miles an hour through there. So I don't know if you guys want to pursue this, or if you want to keep painting it, or whatever you want to do. It's something that we can discuss when we come up in the spring to do our spring and summer painting. And as far as the no truck signs, Mr. Rosado was the one that requested those be there on both ends of that street back in August of 2022.
Yeah, I don't think he was complaining about the signs being there. I think he was concerned that it was either not there or it was not facing in the right direction.
So that it was facing Old Point Avenue entrance.
Well,
Right,
yeah,
it
it's
should.
facing Old Point Avenue as should, so trucks cannot turn down. And there's also one on the opposite end of that street, on Pine Street,
Right.
that's facing toward Pine Street.
So those signs are fine,
They are.
and I wonder on that crosswalk if we need to stop painting it.
Need to visit that in the spring.
Yeah, let's do that, we'll talk about it when we get to that point.
Can you give me your statutory reference again, why you said it
It
was
was 256, I'll have to look it up when I get up, I didn't write it down.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah,
Do you want those back?
yeah, I'll take that for reference.
Good picture, so that shows it really well.
I guess on Gene fencing at the dog park, is he talking about at the rec field?
Yes, there was supposed to be a dog park at the rec field and there's no fence around it and this happened before my time, so I'm not really sure what the history of it is.
Well, I think the dog park's actually the multi-purpose field, which is farthest up in, where the back gate is. I think they use it as a multi-purpose field sometimes. I think that's why we never put a fence around it. I think the only fence is across the back side, Ash Street.
But
Yeah, it runs parallel to Ash Street, then it tapers off into the woods by Mr. Landry's
Is it
property.
officially a dog park though? I don't remember.
We get asked to pull one up there. That was a few years ago.
I don't recall it either.
Because I think at the point, we were having a lot of people visit with their dogs up there, and they were using the baseball fields, the football fields, and the softball fields, which
Yeah, without cleaning.
left gifts
Yeah.
when the kids were practicing.
So do you want to respond to him, Denise?
Yeah,
with
I'm gonna
regard
do
to
some,
this?
yes.
Okay.
So, Jeff, if you can send me those pictures tomorrow maybe, sorry, Wednesday, please.
Oh, yeah, that's right,
It's a
yeah.
holiday.
Sure, yep.
Okay,
Do that.
thank you. And then I'll draft a response and then I'll share it with you and the board and we can see
Sounds
if I'm making sure I'm getting the right answers.
okay.
And as far as the trucks, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And the engine brakes, the state probably wouldn't be interested in putting a no engine brake sign up, so.
So that, because it's a state road, it has to be a state.
Yeah,
sign.
we put them up in the past and they kind of frowned upon it, and, you know, and really they don't work. You know, if you're gonna use it, you're gonna use it. You know, theoretically, you don't really need it going 25 miles an hour, but they still do.
But they need them sometimes, I think, so. Okay, any other citizens' concerns this evening? Last call. Okay, select board concerns.
I received a report from a resident earlier this week, and maybe some of you others did as well, about continued dumping down at the boat landing on Nathan Street. Is anyone else? One particular concern, somebody apparently dumped a deer carcass down there. So he asked me to just share that information with the board, make everybody aware, I guess it's still happening. So I'm not sure what we can do about it, but
I haven't really noticed, I usually go down there every other day and just take a ride through for that purpose. I haven't been down this week before, so I didn't go down today, but I haven't really noticed anything out of the ordinary.
yeah.
There is a gentleman that does go down there, that lives nearby and kind of polices the area. And he seems to be doing a very good job with it, and he enjoys doing it. And he's kind of like the eyes and ears down there.
He lets you know if anything.
Yeah, he either lets myself, or if it's the same guy, Denise
Yeah, okay.
and the sheriff, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Is that it?
That's it.
John?
I'm all set.
All right. You good? You're good? And I am good as well. So, motion to adjourn to executive session.
Make a motion to adjourn to executive session.
Second. All in favor? Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all.